Hi, welcome to Intentionally Eat. I'm Cindy Newland, and I am here to show you how delicious, easy, and simple plant-based eating can be. I've personally lost 125 pounds eating a delicious plant-based diet, and I'm here to show you how you can lose weight and improve your health through a plant-based diet too. This isn't for a trendy 2 weeks. This is for life. Enjoy.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and get going then. We're going to start with that gingerbread oatmeal. And this is a nice baked oatmeal that you can swap out a lot of the ingredients if you want. We're going to preheat the oven to 375, so I'm going to go run do that real quick. Okay. So while that's preheating, then we are going to mix it, and I'm going to, I had this in the freezer, so there's a little condensation on it. I'm going to dry it out, and then I'm just going to lightly oil it so things don't stick. You can use a spray if you like. I like my little oil mister. So it puts my good olive oil or avocado oil, whatever I use, and I mist it myself. But for right now, we're just going to do this. And I love this little rubber brush as well. All right, so we've got that done. And then we are going to combine our oats. So 2 cups of oats. Old-fashioned oats. You do not want to use instant oats because instant oats are already really processed, and that means your body doesn't have to process it. So that means it shoots our insulin up. We want to make our bodies work hard, so you want to have old-fashioned oats or steel cut, but no steel cut in this recipe because you'll be chewing for days. It will not be done. It takes a lot longer to cook steel cut. And then we've got a teaspoon of baking powder. I like to get aluminum-free baking powder. Aluminum's been linked to Alzheimer's, so I like to steer clear of that as much as possible. There we go. There's a teaspoon. And we're going to do 2 teaspoons of cinnamon. Let's just make sure I'm getting this right. Yep. Sometimes I get ahead of myself. Okay, so on the cinnamon, here it is. You want to get the best cinnamon you can possibly afford. Cinnamon is a big deal. Vanilla is a big deal. Other spices you can maybe get by with, but when you spend a little bit extra on these, it really ups the flavor. And you kind of want to look for Vietnamese cinnamon. It's really flavorful. And this one's so flavorful, I'm probably not going to do the full 2 teaspoons. And then we want a teaspoon of ground cloves. Now, those can be really strong. So you decide if you like that much clove. I do because I like that flavor. And this smells like Christmas, right? You guys know gingerbread men. That's what this is smelling like already. It's yummy. And then we want a half teaspoon of ground ginger. So you can grind your own if you want. You could grate your own. But I have some nice ginger, so I'm just going to use it. I'm almost out. There we go. Okay. And then, oven's heated, yay. A little pinch of salt. Now, you could omit this if you're really paying attention to your salt. That's fine. I just kind of do that in my hand. And we are just going to stir that together. Make sure it's combined well. And you could do this in a separate bowl, but I like to use as little dishes as possible. I do not want to have to wash a bunch of dishes. There we go. All right. Now, we are going to, in a bowl, because we have to, I'm going to set this aside. We're going to mash the bananas. And I have 2 perfectly blackened bananas just waiting to be used. Now, another good tip, I forgot to grab my trash. 1 sec. And then let me wash my hands. Hang on, I'm still here. So another nice tip with the bananas, when they get to this point, feel free to peel them and break them into pieces and put them in a freezer bag, and they are fantastic in smoothies or in nice cream. So you can just blend them and add some vanilla for vanilla ice cream, some cocoa for a chocolate. It's delish. Don't throw the bananas away. They also are great for egg replacers. So if you're baking, then you're going to want to have bananas or applesauce or flax seeds, chia seeds. Those are all great egg replacers. Okay, so we're going to mash the banana with our almond milk, nut seed butter. Let's get that going. 2 tablespoons. So remember on your nut seed butter, I'm going to go with this spoon. You want, see if you can see it, this oil, right, to be on top, because that tells you it's only nuts and maybe some salt in your butter. If it's thick and it's all congealed, then they've added maybe palm oil or high fructose corn syrup, something to that effect. So you want to stir it yourself and just get it kind of mixed in there. And you could store this in the fridge. It will get thicker. You could store it upside down. All right, good enough. So I'm eyeballing it, as I kind of tend to do when I'm cooking for myself. Okay, that looks pretty good. And then we want 2 tablespoons of maple syrup. Now, you can use regular maple syrup, and I highly recommend it. I do not recommend pancake syrup, right? That's got high fructose corn syrup. It's got caramel color. It's not cool at all. This is monk fruit sweetened, maple flavored syrup. So it's processed more than maple syrup. However, it is no sugar because it's sweetened with monk fruit. So monk fruit or stevia, those are plant-based sweeteners. Now, I will say, if you haven't tried this before, there is somewhat of an aftertaste until you get used to it. Just kind of like with stevia, till you get used to it. How much did we say here?
3 tablespoons.
Thank you. Yes, so we're good. And if you're using this, sometimes it's not as sweet as maple syrup. So you might want to go 3, something like that on there, but I'm not. I'm good. And then I'm going to go grab my almond milk. And actually, I'm using coconut milk just because I am really enjoying the flavor of it lately. And but I switch between coconut and almond. Either or is good. And I got to grab a measuring cup. All right. So 2 cups of this. And remember, you could use a sweetened vanilla one for this, but you don't want to mix up your milks and accidentally grab that when you're making mashed potatoes, right? Or something to that effect, because that will taste disgusting. I've done that. So have your unsweetened plain for your mashed potatoes. Speaking of, I'm going to use my masher. I'm just going to mash those bananas. They are acting as our egg, along with the flax seeds that I'm getting ready to put. And you can blend it right now. You could use a stick blender. But why do that when you could get an arm workout? Okay. There we go. Try not to make a mess. All right, so I'm going to add the flax. You could grind your own. You could buy flax seed and grind your own. And I've got a little coffee, 2 coffee grinders, one for coffee, one for spice. Tablespoon of these. These are teaspoons, so 3 teaspoons is a tablespoon. Those were heaping, so it's all good. It's adding good omega-3s that we need, good fiber. Just making sure it's all blended nice. You could even do this in the Vitamix or your blender if you had one. Okay, and then we're going to add a little bit of vanilla. Same thing as the cinnamon. If you get the best you can afford. Some of them have wood fillers in it, and you know, the less expensive ones have wood fillers. It's not good. You could even get your own beans, slice them, put them in some vodka or bourbon, and make your own vanilla extract. Okay, we're going to let that stand for 5 minutes so that the flaxseed will thicken. That's kind of what you want to do whenever you're using flaxseed or chia seeds for an egg replacement. You want to let it sit for about 5 minutes. There's also Bob's Red Mill makes an egg replacer. All of those things need to sit up so that they can congeal for a little bit. So we're going to set that to the side just for a little bit. Okay, so flax has set. It's gotten a little bit thicker. We're just going to pour that over. Make a mess. Okay, I'm going to set this aside. I'm going to stir that up. Let's get back to my recipe. Yep. Okay. And I'm going to add nuts. I don't have walnuts on hand, but I've got a lot of pecans I need to get rid of. So I'm using pecans. You use what you want. And you don't even have to use any if you don't want. But remember the nuts add some really nice fiber, some good omegas. And as you can see, I'm measuring again, haha. Okay. Mix that up. Make sure they're distributed evenly. Yummy, yummy. Okay. I'm going to pop that in the oven. Set my timer 1 second. Show it. It's a good serving size in there, so you could get 4 chunky, good breakfasts out of that. Or, you know, smaller ones if you don't like that much. But I would just cut it, and then you could eat it cold if you want, but I would just probably microwave it, or you could stick it back in the oven and heat it back up.